Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. It's been pretty quiet so far to start off 2025, but today I have an early pair that I want to get into with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Lunar New Year, Year of the Snake, Jordan 1 lows. Man, this is the first time that the sun has shined in what feels like weeks, and it is blinding. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, it is good to be back with you. It's been really slow to start off this year. I think so far my only pickups were the Black Cat Jordan 3s, which I absolutely love. And then I did order a pair of those Yeezy slides, or whatever you want to call them. They look like slippers, but I just figured for 20 bucks, it's worth checking them out. I am interested in seeing those, but I know it'll probably be months before they get here. Today's pair I want to look at continues an ongoing series that Nike has been doing on the Jordan 1. This release correlates with the Lunar New Year. I guess this year is the Year of the Snake. I do have last year's pair here handy, so I can just show those real quick and talk about what I prefer about each pair and that sort of thing. But as soon as I saw this colorway, I thought it looked really easy to wear. You can tell right off the bat that it's not your average box. The sun may not be hitting it enough for you to see that it's got this really cool kind of like holographic effect on it. You can see a rainbow on it whenever the light hits it just right, and it looks like there's kind of like a tie-dye pattern for the background. You can tell by the font it's a Jordan 1. It's got the Nike branding across the top and then on the side as well. The tag reads Air Jordan 1 Retro Low OG CNY, and that stands for Chinese New Year. I went with my true to size 10. The colors on here are Summit White, Summit White. Typically, I hate paying resale, but in this instance, I didn't mind. I had an offer accepted on GOAT for I think $140 US. These are set to drop on the Sneakers app and I think across other retailers here in the US on January 29th. I believe that will be on a Wednesday, and I also saw on the calendar that is the actual Lunar New Year. With my offer being accepted at $140 US, I think altogether I have about $165 into them. In my mind, that was justifiable to pull the trigger just because I was going to go for these on the Sneakers app anyway. They're going to retail for $160 US there. I actually probably saved a couple of bucks by getting these early. These shipped all the way from Korea, but they got here pretty quick and everything is in really good shape. And one more thing before we get to the shoes, the paper inside of the box does have this texture on it, kind of like snakeskin. And that box is cool, but it's got nothing on these beauties.
Check these out.
The Year of the Snake Jordan 1 Low. Last year it was the Year of the Dragon, and I felt like the theme was way more obvious on that pair. I keep going back and forth on which pair I like more, because while the Year of the Dragon pair was more obvious, I definitely feel like this year's pair is much more wearable. The first thing that these reminded me of whenever I saw them is the Dior Jordan 1s. And if you know anything about those, I think they sell for like 10 grand on the resale market or something like that. I know a lot of times when there's an affordable option that kind of resembles a more expensive pair, they say it's like the poor man's version of whatever it may be. To me, I guess you could call this the poor man's Dior Jordan 1 Low. I hate using that phrase because I'm telling you, they really came out well. I really like the materials, and I really like some of these accents that really make them stand out from most Jordan 1 Lows that I have in my collection. They did come with this hang tag that kind of has like a fake snakeskin texture on it, and of course it's got the Jumpman. Some of the obvious differences on this pair are for the swoosh. It looks like they tried to make it look like it was snakeskin, and then over top of the swoosh, they have this ripstop material, which you can see a lot of little diamonds on there. It's not real obvious or anything, it's kind of subtle, and if somebody's wearing these on feet, you might not even notice that there's something different to that swoosh, but it's got all these rainbow colors underneath of that ripstop material, and I think it's a really neat effect. Much more obvious and much more blatant are these Jordan wings accents here on the heel of the shoe. They remind me of what we saw on like the Bordeaux Jordan 1 highs, and then there was a green pair as well that kind of had that jeweled wings logo, but on this one it's got that really neat rainbow effect, and again it's kind of like holographic or something, so you get all those rainbow colors, but it's really sharp looking in my opinion. This is last year's pair. This was for the Year of the Dragon, and I said before, this is much more blatantly themed. You know, you can see the dragon inspiration much more on this one, I feel like, than you can see the snake inspiration on this one. This has little scales on all those green overlays. It's just kind of like a texture on that leather, and I like that the theme is more noticeable on this pair, but I really think that the Year of the Snake pair is much more wearable in my opinion. Nike's been doing these Lunar New Year Jordan 1s for some time now. I did go for the Year of the Rabbit pair, and I guess that was 2023, but I struck out on them. I almost paid resale, but they got to like over 300 bucks, and I think prices are still pretty crazy on those. If I remember correctly, I think the Year of the Rabbit pair was individually numbered and stock was way more limited. I think these are going to be pretty easily available, so I think whoever wants them is going to be able to get them, and if you're patient on these, you'll probably be able to get them for under retail on the resale market. But getting into the review, these look like they have a glow-in-the-dark translucent outsole, but it's really just the color that it is. It's like a light green hue to it, and I really like the way that it complements the rest of the shoe. But it's your standard Jordan 1 traction pattern, pivot point in the front, Nike branding there at the midfoot. We've all seen that before. And then as we come up the side of the shoe, we can see that that glow-in-the-dark looking rubber outsole meets a sail midsole, and again I think that sail really complements the rest of these colors quite nicely. I hear a lot of people saying that they're tired of sail midsoles, but I like it. I'm not tired of it just yet. I don't know if I ever will get tired of it. But then as we get to the upper, I was really surprised by how nice the materials on this are. The base is just a white thick leather, but it has a nice feel to it. It's a little bit more stiff than what these overlays are, but this overlay for the gray leather that we have on the mudguard, going up the eye stays, and then wrapping around the heel, this leather that they used for these gray overlays, it feels really soft. I would even say that it feels buttery. In some areas, you can see those really nice ripples that you get whenever you have really soft leather, and it's just a really nice material, so I think the Jordan brand did these right. Like I said, the base leather is a little bit more stiff. It's just a white leather. It's barely got any texture on it. It's just kind of smooth looking. We do have perforations like we're used to getting on the toe box of Jordan 1s. And then you see that smooth white leather on the side panels as well. As I already mentioned, we do have this kind of snakeskin effect on the swooshes, and it looks like underneath there's just kind of a pattern of rainbow colors, and over top of that they put a ripstop material. I'm hoping you're able to see those colors come through, but it's not real blatant, it's not real obvious. And then, as I showed you before, we have that jeweled Nike Wings logo, and now that is blatant. You can see that from across the room, and I like that, because when I see somebody wearing these shoes, obviously I'm going to know that's a Jordan 1 low, but then if I see that, I'm going to think, what in the world is that pair? Because it really does kind of command attention. One thing I wish they would have done differently is they only gave us one set of laces. It's just like a mint green color, and I think the color looks great, but on a special edition shoe like this, I always like getting extras just to switch it up a little bit. But as I said, these only come with one color lace. I think they should have included maybe a gray or a sail, something like that. This mint green kind of goes along with the tongue color, but the tongue looks a little bit more like it's light blue or something. And again, this has that ripstop material on it. It feels more stiff than standard Jordan 1 tongues, but I don't think it'll cause any discomfort or anything. Then at the top of the tongue, we've got a black tag with black Nike Air branding, and I love the way that they blacked that out. I think that is just such a nice touch on these, because I don't want the attention going to the tag. I want the attention going to like that heel tab or even that swoosh that's different than the norm. I really love how they made the branding subtle on there. Our sock liner kind of has a satin type feel. I went true to size on these, and that's what I would recommend everybody do. Unless you like a really snug fit, then go a half size down. This kind of sock liner can create heel slippage if you have extra room in the shoes, so that's why I just went with my true to size. Even though I have wide feet, I know that true to size is the way to go on Jordan 1 lows, in my opinion. The insole is light blue, and it says Jordan 23 in white font. So that was a pretty quick look at these Year of the Snake Jordan 1 lows. Like I said, I think these are a little bit more wearable than the Year of the Dragon pair from last year. I really do wish I had the Year of the Rabbit pair from 2023, but I'm not going to spend over 500 bucks on that pair. They're just not worth it to me. Let me know what you all think about these. Let me know if you'll be going for these whenever they drop the 29th in the US. I appreciate you all watching tremendously, and I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.